Hey, Taurus. Welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are new, I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. Do all those things that the subscribers are done, and you are in for an awesome journey. So, what I'm going to be doing is a tarot card reading for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So, with that being said, let's get started. Your space has been cleansed. The gems are happy to see you. Let's do this thing, Taurus. I'm going to pull 15 cards. It's going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to be the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some possible future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to be some perspectives to consider in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you are curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are really cool, so I'll make sure to show you those throughout. So, without further ado, thank you, higher self. What do we have in store for Taurus this week? Let's get these cards pulled, and I'll get right into it. Oof. All right, big energy. Oh, there you are, Taurus. This is some awesome energy. Hold on, let me get these cards pulled. I'm just, oof. Okay. All right. I'm digging this, Taurus. Oof. Okay. Bam. 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 Man, the spirits are busy. All right. Let's get these cards organized and get into this thing. Okay. Nice. Nice. This is really cool, Taurus. Okay. Yeah, let's jump into it. I won't leave you hanging any longer. That would be cruel. Okay. So for the nature of your problem, pulled the Lovers here. And the cards that came along with it are the Fortune card and the Hermit. So you see what I was talking about? Big energy this week. So let's start with the Lovers here. So the Lovers, I love the Lovers. The Lovers is about, it's a card of, obviously, love. If that's where some of you are at, if we're looking for love, but more so the message for love, or for the Lovers in this deck, I feel more so is about inspiration and imagination, and looking for those things that incite us, that intuition. It's really, I feel like for some of you, you're looking for something to inspire you this week. You're looking for that fire. You want something to be passionate about. I feel like with the Lovers here, just in general, this is kind of like the coming to, think of these two as like your masculine and like your feminine energy coming together as one. It's the polar opposites, existing in this. I like to think of this figure as your higher self here. And you'll have these kids. Well, they start off as kids. One's got a club, one's got flowers. The ones with the flowers passing off this cup. This one's passing off a spear. But you see, it's like that masculine, that feminine energy, and that's what we are. Masculine. We all have a masculine and a feminine side, and that coming together, achieving that balance to where they're all coming together. And I feel like once that union happens, inspiration happens, imagination happens, love happens. I feel like this is. Oh, yeah, Taurus. I'm getting inspired by looking at this. I really feel like this is kind of calling you to kind of get more in touch with your spirit, with your spiritual side, and really kind of looking to the things that, that excite you, or maybe, even exploring some newer avenues to something you might have like a soft interest in, but, you've been kind of meaning to get into it, but just haven't quite taken that initiative. It could be that time, because I really feel like yeah, I feel like there's something really big is coming in for you this week. As far as like, I think you're going to get a new sudden burst of energy. As far as like, what's going to drive you. Where you might see that where you're taking your, maybe like the direction of your life might shift. Take that as it resonates, but that is mainly what I'm feeling. I feel like you're going to get into this more kind of like creative space, where you can kind of get your, take everything that you've been imagining and like start manifesting that. And I feel like it's gonna bring you fortune. Once you really start, once you really kind of find what it is, that driving force that for this lovers, I do feel like it is going to bring you good fortune. Because if you're doing something that you love, that's bringing you that excitement and whatnot, how could you not be fortunate? And I also feel like too, this is kind of like your higher self. When the lovers comes out, this is like directly like your higher self is just like, hey, I feel like we kind of got wrapped up in life, and I want to bring you back to yourself. Like I want to do like almost like an internal check-in. It's just like, are we balanced? Have we been? Are there areas where we can kind of get to know ourselves a little bit better? To maybe whatever this fortune is, it might seem unattainable right now just because you just haven't found that avenue to pour this, to pour all this imaginative poof. What I'm trying to say, whatever you've been trying to create there, But I also want to say with this fortune, we're gonna move on from that because I'm tripping over that. But with this fortune card as well, I would like to mention that fortune doesn't just fall out of the sky. That would be lovely because then we'd all be chilling. But, it's one of those things. It's like if you got the winning lottery ticket, but you don't take it in. With the Wheel of Fortune, it's, I don't know if you can see on here, but it's got these arms on here. Couple of them, and that's I like to take that as to signify like you got to get that wheel turning, and once that wheel's turning, imagine money's falling out, abundance is just falling out from out of here, ching 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 ching. Yeah, that's your abundance. That's what I'm feeling with this fortune card here. And I like that the Hermit popped up as well, because I really feel like that I kind of feel like that sort of validates what I was saying about your higher self kind of wanting to get back in touch with yourself. Because the Hermit is about that, kind of like, it's about, kind of going into that introspective stage, kind of taking some time being with yourself, kind of seeing where, Taurus, okay, hold on. I got something good for you. I did this for Gemini too. It's one of my favorite combos. But when... with the Hermit, this is really about a time of just like introspection, really kind of checking in and seeing, how are we good? How's the sun doing? You got the sun in the middle of this picture here, and I feel like the Hermit is trying to figure out how he can make that sun shine. He's had it caged up for so long that it's time to, I feel like you're getting ready to come to like this divine. We're going from, just regular, not to say that this is regular inspiration, but now we're like achieving like divine inspiration. It's, this is really kind of like just illumination from within. And once you get that illumination, this is in the perspective of your problem, but once you get that illumination, the sun pops out and everyone can see it and everyone can bask into it. Okay, son, I know you're happy to be here, but you have to wait. I had two other things. But I just love doing that. When the Hermit pops up and the sun are together, it's just like, yo, great things are on the horizon. So stick to this, Taurus. Definitely take that time. Maybe, if meditation is not your thing, just doing something to where you're just taking a few minutes to just be with yourself. Just kind of, And you know what? We're going to go ahead and move to some future options because I'm talking about being with yourself. On the upper right-hand corner here, we're going to kind of, it all makes sense in a second, me saying you being for yourself, because guess who showed up? The Hierophant, and that is your card, Taurus. So for some of you, I pulled the Hierophant here, the Star card, and the Two of Wands. I love when signs show up for themselves. So, and that's what I feel like is exactly what's going on here. You're showing up for yourself. The Hierophant it's Taurus energy at its finest. This is a card of again, that divine wisdom, really, and I love that. I love that. You're going to be so wise after this, Taurus. I might have to hit you up for some advice. But I feel like this is going to be this is a really sweet time for you to just do some real soul searching. I like that. But I also, with this card, it's a card of patience, perseverance. You know, in the description of this card, they say the Hierophant moves every 2,000 years. So if you have that kind of time, I guess do that. But for most of us, be patient with this. Be compassionate with this. Inspiration, imagination, that stuff that can't be forced, but it can come. It will come. But it all comes from within. But you have to take that time to be with yourself, kind of rejuvenate that intuitive side, that imaginative side. It's like anything. It's kind of like a muscle. If you don't use it, it atrophies. And I feel like this is too saying, while you're going on this journey, just be patient with yourself. It could also symbolize too, and that's funny, I had mentioned about coming to you for advice. The Hierophant can also represent being a teacher, either seeking guidance or maybe you being a teacher. So if some of you aren't seeking guidance, let's say for maybe whatever this is, maybe if you're turning this, going to take this imagination, start something new, start up a project or whatever may have you, you might need to find, an expert in this field or something like that, kind of help move these things along. Or, if you got that stuff down, again, I'm always looking for some guidance, Taurus. So you could be that teacher as well. Let's go ahead, because I forgot you got some other cards here too, but I'm just going to talk about you all day. So, and apparently, okay, hold on. The star card didn't like that I was neglecting her. Okay, so, but despite that, she is a symbol of hope. She is, about spiritual insight, like spiritual clarity. Again, this is very, very meditative type energy, Taurus, overall. But I feel like for her too, this is like saying, know that all of that is coming. It's just keep that faith. You're a star. And look at what she's doing. She's not worried about, are things coming. She's like, she's exactly where she needs to be at this point in time, because she's manifesting a universe. Gems are falling out of her pocket. Girl's got it. And I feel like this is just kind of, letting you know to, just kind of stay hopeful in this, that this is really good what's going on here. It's like, I feel like for some, it could, it might be like kind of a turn off to be like, wait, you want me to just kind of sit still and meditate on it? And it's like, yeah, I want you to think about what's going to fulfill you, what's going to be, what's going to get you out of bed in the morning and get you excited, yeah, that's really what I'm feeling with this here. I feel like this is a time of, and not to necessarily say isolate yourself either, like I was saying, could be a divine teacher. A divine teacher. Yes, you know what? Yes, because we're attaining some divine wisdom. So yes, whether it's a divine teacher, divine friend, divine family member, whatever. I'm not saying isolate yourself, but whatever a meditative state looks like for you. That's kind of what I'm feeling with all this energy here, so that you can get that balance, so that when you're rejuvenated and ready and got a clear idea, because she can also represent, she's that spiritual clarity. Once you get that energy kind of figured out, then you can, it's really, let me just explain to you what this Two of Wands is about instead of talk about feeling. Well, you know what I mean. It's the Two of Wands is about balanced energy. I feel like this is the results of you taking that time. Wait, I say they're not here. Taking that time to hermit. We're really, taking that introspective time, really getting in touch with your higher self again, doing all those things so that you can get your fortune, because the fortune is waiting for you. It's literally right next to you, but it's just don't look next to you. It's not on the floor. It's but it's one of those things that once you've taken this time and you found that harmony within, I feel like with this Two of Swords, that's really kind of symbolizing this is you, and this is your, your higher self. All that, when we're all on the same page, we can achieve great things. This is really the root of, not the root of fire. This is fire at its purest. This is Mars and Aries. Mars is Aries ruler, so we are right at home. And I know that who doesn't like to feel right at home? Feeling comfortable in that energy and to be able to go out with that. How do I want to put it? Just something that, to feel just passionate about something again. I really, that's another thing I'm feeling from this Lovers is just like passion in the sense of, again, could it be a lover? Absolutely. But I feel like more so just something like, you're passionate about something that you're doing, that you're creating, that's really what I'm kind of feeling for some of you on this side here. Now, hopefully that made sense and resonates with you. Yeah, I'm gonna move on from that. For some others, on this upper left hand corner, I pulled the Three of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So, with this Three of Wands, this Three of Wands it's about finding that balance. This is about, struggles, kind of like getting that victory after losses, but more so like finding how do I want to put this? Kind of like what you hold virtuous. Where do you want to channel your energy that you're going to achieve the most good? And also with this Three of Wands, it could be, it's just like it's really kind of can further that realization of hope. That there is something, once we've taken that time to harmonize here, that you can take that, this is something that you're really passionate about, that that you hold near and dear, and that you want to take that energy and go out and run with it, And that's what I'm feeling with this Three of Wands here. Some of you are, once you've come to that realization, you're going to take that energy out there and just have at it. However, I will say be aware of burnout. The Seven of Swords, that's my burnout card. You got these, this is a card of just kind of like, striving in vain, not completing something due to exhaustion, kind of like oscillating, you might be picking between a bunch of different options, but it's just like spreading yourself too thin. If you look at this main sword here, it's got 6 other swords like kind of coming at it. And really as a whole, they're really not, by themselves, it's not a big deal. This sword can handle this all day. But when you got 6 swords constantly coming at you at once, yeah, eventually you're going to get some wear and tear. So I feel like with the Seven of Swords, this is just like, while you're going on this journey, while this is happening, just be mindful of the burnout, because that's a lot, coming into yourself, really getting that discovery, that's energy too. And it's just to be mindful of where that energy, or how you're spreading that energy out, go with that Hierophant kind of mentality, finding that sweet pace, maybe not taking 2,000 years, but maybe we can knock it out in like 2,000 minutes. I'm not sure what that would equate to in math. But hopefully you get my point. That was definitely way clever in my head than when it came out of my mouth. But it's fine. We're moving on, because look what's going to happen when you do that? Happiness. Happiness. Nine of Cups is, yes, everything that you've ever wanted. It's like and I say this in a more like in an emotional sense. It can be whatever abundance looks like for you. In a kind of more broader sense, I kind of lump in the cups and the disc as just abundance. But in a more specific manner, the cups have to deal with emotional matters. And I do feel like this is saying, and I really feel like that really resonates with where everything is at. We're about trying to get that emotion, where's that? That spiritual enlightenment, that divine wisdom, he's divine. Yeah. We want to be spiritual as hell. That's what I'm getting at here. We want all these spirituals here so we can get this spirituality so that we can get this happiness. I really feel like that's going to be really not even for some of you, for all of you. Because the nice thing about the future, too, you see how I'm moving stuff over from this other side? These aren't the only two options that you have for the future. You like certain things from other stuff. We're not trying to burn out. Don't burn out. Oh, I didn't mean to throw you on the floor. But if you don't want to, mix and match this stuff. Make it apply to your situation. Never, like I was saying, don't force it. Whatever feels natural to you. If you want, I just want happiness, maybe a little patience. Take some hope. Take it and run. I'm not going to be mad at you. Take what, as long as this is your end game, hey, have at it. Everyone deserves happiness, and tell yourself that constantly. Tell your friends that they deserve it as much as you do. And help. There we go. You can be that divine teacher to show people how it's done. This is like, I learned how to love myself, and now look at that, leading by example. So go out and be that Hierophant. Go ahead and be yourself, Taurus. It's not that hard. You got this. I'm totally with it. Okay. Let's move on to the bottom left here, which is equally great. This is really good, really solid energy all around here, Taurus. I'm really enjoying this. Let's go to some perspectives to consider. So, I pulled down here, we got the Princess of Cups, that good old sun. Everyone's been getting the sun, and the Tower. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. So with this Princess of Cups, I feel like with her, she's a card for me. She's a card of like generosity. And I feel like more so generosity being, look at how you, think about how when you go out on your day to day, when you go to be, whatever when you're going to be generous to someone, when you go to, what am I trying to say here? With the Princess of Swords, Princess of Cups, I feel like when she pops up, this is saying to kind of be generous with yourself. That's really, and this may sound selfish, but really when I'm talking about really thinking about you, it's so that when you focus on you, that energy, all that goodness and all this stuff, it permeates and people feel that. So where it may sound like I'm always like, well, Justin's always saying, I got to pay attention to me and fuck y'all. No, it's more so just like, I paid attention to me. Look at all this goodness. We're leading by example. I want to spread this goodness so that other people are spreading this goodness. We want more Princes of Cups. We want everyone being generous, with their energy, but in a sense that you're still getting that fulfillment, that's holding true to you, so that your cups aren't being depleted. That's where the Princess of Cups comes in. The princesses are the earthy part of any element, of any suit, and she's the earthy part of water. And when I think of earth and water, I'm thinking of we're planting seeds, we want to grow things and, get this, this abundance, this cornucopia of just good vibes and all of that things. That's where this Prince of Cups is. I mean, look at that. She comes in with her lovely dress. She just wants to give, she's very generous with her energy. And it's just, the only caveat with her is just be careful how much you're giving. Make sure that you're giving to yourself just as much as you're getting out. That's my only thing with her. But overall, her intentions is really good because look what she's spreading. That good old sun. The sun is bae. It may not be absolute end game. I mean, honestly, to me, the sun is end game. This is happiness, warm and fuzzy feelings, just like everything the sun to be. I absolutely love it. And I really feel like, it's one of those things. You've taken that time. You've been generous with yourself. I know you saw it the first time, but, who doesn't love watching the sunrise again? That's... I think I just wanted to do that again. I don't even know if there was an actual point. Happiness. That's my actual point. Happiness, triumph, victory, all that good stuff. That is the sun. And, where's the last card? And I feel like you're realizing that with the tower. The tower moment is The tower moment. That's what these are. They're not. The tower's not just a thing. It's a whole moment. Um, with the tower is it's like a to some, it could be you could be like these figures here where you got everything looks like it's on fire. This building's collapsing. We need to abandon ship. Shit has gone tits up and we don't know what to do. Or you could be, I feel like this is where you're at. You're this eye here, not just a single eye, but you see that in all this chaos, while everyone else is just like reacting, you're being proactive. You've been taking the time to meditate, kind of find that wisdom from within. So now that you're able to see this for this isn't just like crazy chaos. You're not just like, I don't know if you can see this. You got this snake here. I feel like this is like supposed to be a sun crown, but I like to think of it that he's just always in like shock, like a oh gosh, what is that game where if you get within a field of a monster, the exclamation point comes up. That's what he's feeling all the time. Pardon me for that. But you could either be over here where it's like you're shocked that everything's happening, or you can be this dove where you're seeing the beauty and the growth that's going to come out of this situation is where I'm pretty much trying to get to. And take it for the tower, take the tower for what it actually is. This is that, seeing, this is like the crumbling of old ways, like, and this is, you coming into like a new clearer perspective. We're really, the realization is just like, it's really clear with the tower moment. It's all, but it all comes down to a matter of perspective. But yeah, that's with the that's the first I've used that tattoo for that. So there, thanks, Taurus. But yeah, that's really kind of what I'm getting to, some perspectives here. Definitely keep that in mind, with how you're spreading your energy, and to not get wrapped up in, what. And even when, if it feels like, if people are trying to tell you, like, if your situation seems unstable or something like that, how do I want to put this? Just being, it really does. I don't think I need to beat this. It really is just a matter of perspective. You know that, Taurus. I don't need to beat that to death. Let's go ahead and move on to what your higher self wants to know, because he's got some exciting things to tell you as well. So, for some perspectives, I pulled the Two of Swords, the Universe, and the Eight of Discs. And this Two of Swords is about balance. Again, it's another one of those, like, this is air at its most purest right here. This is a card of balance. This is one of Libra's cards, but it's the moon in Libra. So yeah, this is a time of just like, you found that peace. We've gotten through that tower. Now we're here. Now we're zen. Now we're taking that time. We found peace. Hold on, taking that zen. Yeah. Now we found peace, and now we're getting ready to make some sun. We're spreading that sun around. But yeah, that's basically what your higher self is saying. This is victory after struggles. One of those types of cards. This is definitely you getting back to where you're feeling quite right. And I feel like with the Universe here, that's perfect, because now we're able to see the bigger picture. This is not just one of those moments where it's just like, everything's on fire. No, this is you painting your big picture now. What is now we're taking that fortune and we're littering it all over the place. We're taking that star card and we're just manifesting stuff. This is another end game card here. This is the last card of the major arcana. So this is definitely end game right here. Getting that big picture here. So I love that. To my top card, probably top 3 of like end game cards. It's just like, this is, maybe I'll have to think about your Universe, but for sure the sun. But this is not, yeah, this is really good too. This is just like, yeah, you've got it figured out. That's your higher self. Yeah, pretty much just like, don't trip. You know what to do, Taurus. And to keep that wisdom, that this is with that, the Eight of Disc is a card of prudence, that being wise in what you've done, learning from these lessons, and applying that into all aspects of your life. So that, dude, this is the sun in Virgo, so it's just like keeping that keeping that stuff going, spreading that abundance. You got that here. Let's plant 8. I want 8 more of these, because you totally can do it, Taurus. You're that Princess of Cups. Like I said, we're planting things. We're planting suns. That's what we're doing. I told Capricorn, I think, and I for sure told Gemini, we're going out and we're finding pockets of sunshine. And you know what, Taurus? You could be one of those people that's spreading those pockets of sunshine for us. So, let's get out there and let's spread some happiness. You know what? Let's see. Let me make sure before we transition over that I don't got anything else to say, because I think, yeah, let's go ahead and transition over, Taurus. Yeah? Yeah. So, hopefully that all made sense to you. I definitely had a lot of fun in that, but yeah, definitely this week, this is, really get to know yourself, and what better way, I'm going to do this out of order a little bit, but, normally I tell people, well, fuck it. We're going to like, share, and subscribe, but more so, check your moon this week, check your rising, check your Venus. That's been the main one that I've been telling people to check your Venus sign this week. And not for anything specific, just more so, just so that you have a clear idea of how you operate, we're all very nuanced, and, we're all affected by, all this stuff, planetary wide, Earth stuff, it's, but every now and again, when that stuff all that noise is happening, definitely take that time. Let's go ahead and just find Zen again, so that we can get out, spread some more sun. I love it, Taurus. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Celestial News Weekly. Yeah, I was actually worried that so just so you all know, I've been letting everyone know, this is probably going to become a game about how over the top I can do Celestial News Weekly each week. And I was actually thinking, like, what am I going to do for Taurus? And we're just gonna lean into it. Make of it what you will. But for some news, on October 17th, that's tomorrow, it is the last quarter moon. And this is it represents a time of like transitions, letting go, completion, and kind of like taking responsibilities for like you don't really have any losses over here, Taurus. For whatever, we'll count. If we're not looking at the tower, if we're looking at the tower moment, like everything's on fire, your losses and your accomplishments, but it's like that transitory time, we're getting ready to get, the moon is now, the energy is waning. So, we're getting ready to get back into that new moon phase, to where, we can plant a new seed and then go out and, start that next moon cycle. So, this is, as we're getting to the tail end of it, what a perfect time to just do some reflection, see what you've achieved this week, or just in this whole lunar cycle, and just kind of assess and then get a game plan for going into the next one. Okay. Next, for those of you who aren't aware, when the news was a little light this week, so I've been branching out and throwing some fun things, as we can. But Chiron is in retrograde. It's been retrograde since July, and it'll end on December 23rd. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Chiron, it was discovered, for you history buffs, in 1977 by whom I can't tell you that right now. I should have wrote that down. But Chiron was initially classified as an asteroid and then later reclassified as a minor planet. And its orbit is right in between Saturn and Uranus. And Chiron represents like trauma. It's named after that centaur from Greek mythology who trained, I want to say, Hercules and Achilles. But Chiron is about trauma and kind of addressing that, and whatever that means for you. And with it being in retrograde, it's a good time for, man, you know what? This should be your card, but we're gonna keep this up here for right now. This is definitely a time for internal healing, and it's just like a really good time for some like catharsis. Kind of like really, take an inventory. What can be addressed? Because when you think about traumas, you don't want to deal with that. Whatever hurts and things like that. Those can be tough to deal with. but when they have been, and you've treated yourself with that compassion and nurtured that whatever that pain is, it helps you grow so that you can spread compassion to others, so that we can keep being good healers to help someone else who might be going through something similar. So it can suck, but look at the growth that'll come from it. I'm glad the Tower came here, because that really does, I feel like, fits well with what Chiron retrograde is kind of about. Is really about, that looking at something that seems, really chaotic and kind of ugly, and like, I don't want it, if you walked outside and you saw that, like, nah. But it's really it's really kind of taking that perspective, like when you walk out, just like, oh, okay, everything's destroyed, what can I build? And just like that, you see, look at that. Like, ooh, I even got a little excited. That's what Chiron's about. Just like kind of helping you get that, just to kind of clean up, take inventory, and just kind of clear out that energy a little bit. Clean that up some. And just a random little fun fact before we move on. It stays in, because I found it really fascinating. It stays in, except for 4 signs, it stays in each sign for about 4 years. But in the case of Libra and Virgo, it only stay there for like 1 or 2 years, which I'm going to look into a little bit more. And then it'll stay in Aries and Pisces for like 7 to 8 years. And this is just speculation. If I had to guess, I would feel like with Pisces being the tail end of the zodiac, ending the zodiac, and Aries starting the zodiac, that could be why. I promise I'll look more into that. Lastly, I'm going to start throwing in some aspects too. And aspects are pretty much just how planets are in relationship to each other, whether it be to one another, or to where the planets are in your natal chart. It's those energies, believe it or not, it gets tricky, but it's super cool. How those energies line up definitely affect, how you go about your day-to-day. There's some that are more short-term. There are definitely some are more long-term. It's a whole thing. And don't let that overwhelm you. It's like when you go outside, what do? We check the weather before we go, because we need to know what to wear, and how to deal with things. With Celestial News Weekly, it's the same kind of thing. It's just to help you get through life so that you can kind of get your headspace right, so that, that we can look at, so that we can see the Tower months for what they really are. Suns everywhere. Let me start talking about these aspects. You know what? I don't have to put you down, because the sun. I don't have to put either of you down. The sun is trine with Mars this week, and the sun, to be trine with something, is the planets are at 120 degrees. So imagine that this is 120 degrees. This is obviously the sun. This card is represented by Mars. I love it. Thank you both. But this gives you, it ends on the 26th, this energy of sun being trine in Mars, but it gives you this like drive to want to just do stuff, to go out and tackle a project. It gives you this impetus you're pushing forward. It's just like, what? You see that let's say you've been wanting to clean up around the house, done. You know what? I want to go clean the shutters, done. You know what? I want to go knock a blah, 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 done, and done. That's this energy. Thank you. And that ends the 26th. And then lastly, I promise I'll get you out of here. You have Venus squared with Pluto. And that's Venus squared, that's to be squared with something that's at 90 degrees. Imagine this is 90 degrees. That energy ends on the 25th of this month. And this is more so about being aware of any discord or dissonance in your relationships. If you find that maybe something's been, and I feel like it doesn't have to be like big things that this person is doing. I feel like, let's say someone forgets to leave the seat down, or doesn't rinse their dishes, or doesn't use a coaster, throws cards everywhere, whatever it looks like. This is about kind of taking those times and like addressing those, but in like a soft way, so that they don't like fester. I don't have a card for that. So that they don't fester and become like a bigger thing than it needs to be. Because you know how that works, where they start up as little things, because we don't want to nag, whatever. but then you don't nag, you don't nag, you don't nag, you know that, but it's you're taking tally, because then when that big thing comes, you're just like, what the heck? And then it blows up for no reason. And that's where this is just Venus squared with Pluto is just calling some awareness to that, you know. Let's, instead of starting a fight, just like maybe do something fun, like when someone comes home, just kind of randomly, just like, hey, you know, I was thinking, have I done anything to upset you this week? Or is there some way, like, is there, you know, I feel like I always come home and I got your tea ready. Do you like that? Like, do you want to, like, you know, decompress first? How do you want to go about this? You know, however you open this subject, I feel like the other person will, at least I would hope, it's just like oh, I hadn't thought about that. They'll share, and then it allows them to be like, have I done anything to you? And then reciprocity happens. And isn't that beautiful? You know, it's just like, yeah, really good things can come from that. So just something to be aware of, you know, going into the week. Okay, that was good, Taurus. To finish this out, I'm going to pull a surprise card at the bottom because you all been awesome hanging out with me in all these randomness I've been doing. Nice. Okay, so Four of Swords. That's what I pulled at the bottom. And the Four of Swords is again, it's about that balance. Is this Jupiter? This is Jupiter in Libra. So this is about, Jupiter. Jupiter's back. You know, we're, for some reason I thought you had the Judgment here. But, yeah, this is about finding that balance again, you know, really coming to a truce. You know, this is, how funny. So if there is something that, if you've been in an argument or something been frustrating you this week, I feel like things are going to come to where you're going to get that back in balance again, you know, where you're feeling like, okay, you know, you might have been a little shitty about something, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's amazing. I feel like, you know, once you talk about something and get it out there, really can just like clear everything up. So, yeah. I like that. Let's go ahead and close there, Taurus. Have a great rest of your week. I really appreciate you here. I will catch you on the next one. Until then, let's keep raising the vibration. See ya!